Hey guys, welcome to this little pocket practice. My name is Mel and I'll be taking you through just a really quick kind of full body blast in a lot of ways. So let's go ahead and get started. Find a seat, cross-legged. You can be on your back, child's pose, however you choose to start. But just as always, taking these first moments of the class to connect with the practice, connect with your physical body, connect with your mood and what you need right now. So do that, just closing your eyes and just giving your body a little scan. And just feeling into your energy, so just noticing if there's something that you need to kind of work out a little bit in this practice. Although brief, it still gives us an opportunity just to be with ourselves. You can open up and help us expand ideas. So let's just take a few big breaths together just to start. And just gently opening the eyes, giving them a nice kind of flutter. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll here, and we're just going to make our way onto hands and knees. So coming into all fours, finding your 4-point pose, and let's just come into a bit of a lion's dance, which is essentially just big circles, forwards and back. And the further back you come, the more you might get into the shoulders or the front of the legs. The further forward you come, you might get into the wrists and the spine. Changing directions here. Maybe holding in one spot and dropping down a little. And then just making your way back into a neutral spine. Grounding into your left hand, float your right hand up. And as you exhale, take your right hand, bring it underneath your left shoulder, and drop onto the right side of your head. Press into your left hand. Maybe reach your left hand to the top of your mat. Looking up if it feels good, take a breath in. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Big inhale here. And then exhale, bringing the hand down. Inhale, left hand comes up. Exhale, bringing it underneath, dropping onto the left side of the head. You can keep your hand where it is, press into the earth, or bring it forward, maybe the gaze up. Take a big breath in, and then breath out, bring that hand down, float the left hand back up. Exhale, bring it to the earth. Move back and forth on the wrists a little. And then when you're ready next, coming forward a little, then coming back into that neutral spine, tucking your toes, pressing into the hands, lifting the tail, downward facing dog. And like you're kind of jogging on the spot here, move back and forth. And being a really small practice, it's going to be a little bit more dynamic, as then we'll move in these poses and just try to stretch until those little areas. Take another full breath in. Find that stillness on your breath out. And then inhale, lifting up onto your tippy toes. Drop your heels to the right as you breathe out. Hug your knees together, squish to the back of the mat. Inhale, come to center. Drop the heels to the left, bend the knees, squish to the back of the mat. Coming up, lifting up onto your tippy toes, walking your feet forward, moving them up to the hands. Soften the knees, bring your belly to your thighs, ragdoll. Hold on to opposite elbows, or maybe holding the back of the head, just letting your arms dangle as you sweep the body from side to side. Bend one knee at a time, get a little deeper here. Take a full breath in. Then as you breathe out, let your arms just come a little closer to the ground. Bend to the knees, support yourself with your hands as you heel toe your feet out to the width of your mat, heels in, toes out. Let's come straight into our Yogi Squat. So dropping the hips between the heels. You can bring your hands down to the ground, or you could come straight up into that press position. Being mindful that if your hips aren't quite ready for this, hands forward and just dropping one knee from side to side. Otherwise, coming up with the heart. Taking a big breath in here and then letting the hands come down, walking them over to the left foot, and then taking the left hand behind the left foot and the right hand on the inside, just twisting a little over towards that knee. If it feels okay, continue the walk back with the left hand, pressing into the feet. Reach your right hand up, sending weight equally into the left hand and the feet, reaching towards the back of the mat or just to the ceiling. Just find a nice gentle space. And then exhale, coming forward, walking the hands either side of the right foot. So we're framing the foot where you might stay, or you might continue walking that hand back, reaching the left arm up. We're keeping the hips low with this one, just keeping pressure even through the hands and feet. And then exhale, bringing it back. From here, hands come down. Let's start to lift the tail, lean into the heels, forward fold as you bring your feet in to about hip distance. Soften the knees. Come up to standing, finding that roll up. Shoulders roll up, reaching up through the hands. Take a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, bow your heart forward, forward fold. Find a halfway lift now. So hands come onto the legs, pressing the legs away. And then exhale, hands meet the earth. Step back, plank pose. This can be done on your knees or your toes. First one's always a good idea to drop to the knees. Inhale, untucking the toes, exhale, coming down. Once you arrive here, press the tops of your feet down, roll your heart open, cobra, inhale, and then exhale, bring the forehead down. This time as we come up into cobra, we're also going to bring the heels towards the sit bones. So just a little inhale, and then exhale, coming back. Tucking your toes, keeping the knees grounded or lifting the knees, push into plank pose, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Pedal around, move for a breath or two. And right leg will lift up. We're going to bend that right knee and open up through that hip. Try to find a good flex of the foot or a point as I'm doing. Take a full breath in. And then as you breathe out, bringing that knee forward, step the foot between the hands. And as many steps as you need, drop your back knee. Keep your left hand grounded, untuck your back toes, float your right hand up into a twist, inhale, and then bend that right elbow, little cactus arm here, so pulling the shoulder and elbow back, inhale, exhale, right hand comes onto the inside of that right foot. Walk your hands as far over to the left as you can get them. Now you're pressing into the top of that foot, pull your heart over to the left, inhale. Maybe going a little bit deeper onto one or two elbows, exhale. Coming up onto the hands, walking them back towards the front foot, framing the foot here. Pick up your back knee, inhale, step your left foot to meet your right foot, feet together or hip distance, soften the knees, forward fold. Up to standing, a big breath in, inhale, coming up. And as you exhale, diving back down. Halfway lifting, hands can ground, float or press. Hands meet the earth, step back, plank pose, knees or toes. This time we're going to lower down to the ground, exhale. Once you get here, untuck your toes, heart lifts, cobra breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Left leg lifts up, bend the knee, open that hip. Holding here for a breath or two as we push into the hands, play around with that hip. Pointing or flexing the foot, then pull the knee forward and as many steps as you need. Bring the back knee down. Taking the time to set up for the twist, right hand stays grounded, left hand comes up and open. Bending and pivoting, pulling that elbow back, inhale. Exhale, the hand comes down, walking them over as far over to the right as you can get. Lengthen your heart, stay here, or drop onto your elbows. Take one more breath. And then coming back to center, hands either side of your front foot, float the back knee up, inhale. Exhale, step it forward, feet hip distance or together. Find your fold. Halfway lifting, inhale. Bring your hands to the earth, heel toe your feet out, heels in, toes out. Find your Yogi Squat, Malasana. Hands stay grounded or they come to heart. Take a full breath in. And then letting go of the arms, frame that left foot, walk the left hand back. This time, maybe slide the left hand further back. Drop the hips a little, then push into the feet and just extend your right arm towards the ceiling. If that feels good, hold on to the back of your head as you open your heart up. Take another full breath in and then slowly drop the hips back down. Use the right hand if you need to or just slide it forward. Walk the hands over the right side. From here, you're sliding that hand back, lifting up with the hips, left hand to the ceiling, or holding onto the back of the head, rotating a little more. Take a big breath in, and then bringing it back, walking the hands to the top of the mat. Hands ground, lift the hips, lift the toes, turn the feet in, forward fold. Halfway lifting, big breath in, ground your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Then lean into the left side, lift your right leg up, bend your right knee. Let's try to float that right foot over to the left. So come a little further forward, come up onto your right fingertips. Drop the toes of the left foot more to the center of the mat and then see if you can hover that right foot. Take a big breath in and pull the right knee in. Step the right foot forward. Keeping the right hand lifted, come into that twist, bend and open up, full inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down. Rotate, walk your hands to the left. Toes slightly inward of the heels. Let's find a wide-legged forward fold. So walking the hands and then maybe bringing the feet in a little closer or leaving them where they are. Let the upper body hang. Bend your knees if you need to. Maybe the head touches the ground. For those of you that practice a fair bit of yoga and inversions are a big part of your practice and you really feel like not having a studio, not coming into them as much, walk your hands so that they're in line with your feet, that your elbows are stacked over the wrists, come onto the crown of the head and then float the legs up. Maybe come all the way up and then bring them all the way down. Keeping it controlled, dropping the feet, moving into a halfway lift here. And then exhale, walking the hands back to the top of the mat. Let's lift up through that heart, back knee lifts, low lunge, and then downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out. Left leg comes up. We're going to bend that knee and open up through that hip. Now with this position, we're coming slightly further forward, so the shoulder stacks almost over the wrists. The foot hovers. We can keep the left fingertips down or float them up. And then from here, pulling the knee in, stepping it forward, coming into that twist. Take a big breath in. And then breath out, walking the hands onto the inside, as far over to the right. So your back knee can be lifted or grounded. It's really up to you. And then start to rotate the hips, coming into a wide leg forward fold, toes slightly inward of the heels. Let the head hang. You can support the head. Maybe move, bend one knee at a time. And taking another full breath here. And then walking the hands all the way back. Come back to the low lunge. Hands frame the front foot. Lengthen your heart forward, inhale. Then step it back, downward facing dog. And take a full breath in and out. Inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes. As you exhale, just drop your knees down. Come onto all fours, lengthen your heart, inhale. Exhale, drop your knees out wide, sit bones towards your heels, child's pose. Take another full breath in and out. Rolling forward, come back onto hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes, lifting up, find downward facing dog once again. Bring the gaze forward, step, walk, however you want to get there, but come back into our Malasana. So take the feet out onto the outside of the hands, drop your hips. Bring your hands in towards your heart. Now push the knees away, take a big breath in. Hands come down, big breath out, forward fold, lean into the heels, toes forward. From here, rolling up to standing, taking as many breaths as you need to, lifting the hands, lifting the gaze. Stay standing, bring your hands into your heart. Now stay the direction you are, I'm just turning around. From here, grounding into your left foot, let's pick up the right foot and come into tree pose. So right heel can come onto the inside of the leg. If we're feeling a little bit off with the balance, we're just going to rest it on the ankle or the calf muscle, whatever we feel more comfortable with. So taking a position that works for you, hands at heart. Relax your shoulders, find that grounding. And from here, you can, of course, expand and get really kind of out there with your tree, maybe a reverse prayer. And if you want to, you could even bring this foot into a half lotus. You could bring the right foot right into the left hip crease, holding onto the foot with one or no hands. Take just one more breath here. And then using your hands, if you're in that half lotus perhaps, or the tree, pull the knee in, let the foot down. Give yourself a bit of a shake, and then tree pose on the other side. So right foot grounds, left foot comes in. For less, we just bring the heel onto the ankle, or we're going to bring it right up. The thing is with tree pose is it's just as important to squeeze that leg, the standing leg, into the foot as it is for the foot to squeeze. So we want this double contraction coming towards one another. Hands can just rest at heart, and you can find a drishti, or you can move into anything with the arms, maybe that half lotus. You can hold the foot and maybe play around with the other hand. Just take an option that works for you. 2 more breaths. And bringing it back to center, hugging the knee up. And then just letting that go, giving your legs a little bit of a shake. From here, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, finding that fold once again. Halfway lifting on your breath in. Ground your hands, come back, plank pose. From here, inhale, shift forward. Lower all the way to the ground on your exhale. Keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand out, reach it out, look to the right, drop onto your left ear, pick up your right leg, bend the knee, take it all the way over to the left, pushing into that right hand, create as much space as you can. Take another big breath in, then come back to center. Right hand reaches out to the side, left hand underneath the left shoulder, left leg comes up, take it all the way over. Pressing more into that left hand perhaps. Just a couple of breaths. And slowly coming back to center. Take your time and bring both hands underneath your forehead here. So lying on your belly, let your forehead come down. And just taking a few deep breaths. This is where we'll more or less finish our practice. So just trying to breathe into the back of the ribs here. Big, expansive breaths connecting with the earth as you relax your body. And just taking as many breaths as you can on your belly. And when you're ready to start to move back into your day, pushing back into child's pose. And then coming up and finding your seat once again. So if you've chosen to stay in Shavasana, please stay in Shavasana. If you need to go, if this is just something quick for you, thank you again for joining me. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask or any feedback. Namaste.